I reincarnated as the son of the ancestral dragon himself.
And the very first thing I said to him was,
Dad, the dragon clan is gonna fall within 3 years. You should hand the clan over to me. Before the ancestral dragon could even react, I pulled out the chaos pearl the system gave me and locked him inside, and I even stuffed 99 pink female dragons in there with him. The ancestral dragon lost it and roared, "You little brat, what do you think you're doing?" Right now, the primordial world was deep in the war between the dragon, phoenix, and Keelan clans. The dragon clan was just one battle away from dominating the entire world. Your brothers all died fighting on that battlefield. And now you want to be a coward and surrender? Hearing that, I stepped right into the chaos pearl. Then I turned to the ancestral dragon and said, Dad, I'm doing this to give the dragon clan a future. This space inside the chaos pearl, you can still cultivate here. You can keep training in here, it's fine. With that, I turned around and walked right out of the chaos space, leaving the ancestral dragon absolutely fuming behind me. You ungrateful little, let me out right now! You're gonna be the death of this clan, I swear. But no matter how much he raged, he couldn't take a single step out of that chaos space. Meanwhile, I had already made it back to the Dragon Palace throne room. I called together every top-ranking member of the dragon clan. Soon enough, all the dragon elders showed up in human form. They bowed before me. We greet your highness. I sat up on the throne and announced, the ancestral dragon has been gravely injured and has gone into seclusion. From this point forward, I'll be handling all dragon clan affairs. The moment I said that, everyone in the room exchanged uneasy glances, but nobody actually questioned it. After all, I was only at the golden immortal level. Nobody would ever think I'd be able to imprison the ancestral dragon. Then someone spoke up. We fully support whatever your highness decides. Please give us your orders. I nodded, satisfied. Then my expression shifted to sharp and serious. Starting tomorrow, the dragon clan is pulling out of the 3-clan war. The second those words hit the air, everyone's faces dropped instantly. They looked like they couldn't believe what they just heard. I let my aura explode out to shut them up. Sure, I was only at golden immortal level, but as the ancestral dragon's true-blooded son, my bloodline alone was enough to suppress every single one of them. I looked around the room dead serious. The ancestral dragon is critically injured. Every one of my brothers has fallen in battle. Do you actually want to watch the dragon clan get wiped out completely? No more arguments. In 3 days, we send word across the land. The dragon clan is out of this war. Just then, another voice piped up. But your highness, what do we do if the Phoenix and Killen clans come after us? My expression went cold. Why do you people have so much to say? Get out, now! The dragons went quiet for a moment, then filed out of the hall one by one. Once everyone was gone, I rubbed my temples. Didn't think being the head of an ancient clan would be this exhausting. I literally just gave a short speech, and I'm already worn out. Then I remembered the innate 2-polarity formation the system had rewarded me with. This formation was basically already complete. I just had to deploy it and it would activate automatically. Plus, the formation's core could be moved around, which meant I could use the Chaos Pearl as the core and just carry it on me. That way I could call on the full power of the formation anywhere within Dragon Clan territory. The thought of it genuinely excited me. With this formation active, what could the Killen and Phoenix clans even do, even combined? The innate 2-polarity formation could channel the 4 symbols and 8 trigrams, holding the endless creative power of creation itself. And with the Chaos Pearl as the core on top of that, even a Grand Golden Immortal couldn't touch me. On top of that, the system also gave me a whole stockpile of heaven-destroying divine thunder. If it somehow came down to it, one nuke would do the trick. The primordial world would be peaceful real quick. I got the formation set up fast. Then I headed into a private chamber. My next goal, push my bloodline to the next level. I was already the ancestral dragon's true-blooded son. So if I could level it up even further, wouldn't I basically be on the same tier as the ancestral dragon himself? The system quickly confirmed, upgrade successful. A warm sensation washed over my entire body, and without even thinking, I shifted back into my true form. My scales darkened under the system's power. My physical strength jumped up by a massive amount too. Then I shifted back into human form. I made up my mind, time to train hard. Right at that moment, the system's voice suddenly rang out in my head. Host seems to be in a great mood. So here are 2 options. Option 1, train hard. Reward, the 6-pass reincarnation method. This technique can be cultivated all the way to the Grand Golden Immortal realm. Option 2, slack off completely. Reward, the title Slacker Immortal. I didn't even hesitate. I went with option 1 immediately, and I dove straight into training with the 6-paths reincarnation method. 3 days later, news that the Dragon Clan had withdrawn from the war spread across the entire primordial world. Over at the Western Devil Mountain, the demon ancestor Rahu was in the middle of refining the 4 immortal slaying swords. When he heard the news, he nearly lost control and killed himself right then and there. He'd been counting on the hatred from the 3-clan war to claim the immortal slaying sword formation. If the Dragon Clan pulled out, his whole plan would fall apart before it even got started. Thinking about it, Rahu let out a cold sneer and said, "Easy to get pulled into a calamity but trying to walk away? I won't let that happen." Then he tore open the void and vanished without a trace. Up on Jade Gold Mountain, the Red Lord couldn't make sense of what was happening with the Dragon Clan either. The calamity had already begun. Those caught in it shouldn't be able to just walk out. But now the heavenly secrets were completely scrambled, and even he couldn't see what was going on over in the Dragon Clan. Meanwhile, the Phoenix ancestor Yuan Feng heard the news, and his first reaction was a sigh of relief. Finally, that crazy Dragon Clan backed off. Now he could focus on dealing with the Keelan clan properly. Those Keelan had the nerve to slaughter my Phoenix bloodline. The Keelan clan, on the other hand, had the total opposite reaction. The Keelan ancestor roared, "Old dragon, you think you can just quit? Who's gonna answer for my children that died in this war? You want out? I say no." Rahu's scheme was both clever and crude. The Phoenix killed the dragons. The dragons killed the Keelan. The Keelan killed the Phoenix. A perfect cycle that locked all 3 sides in an endless stalemate. Once you're in, there's no walking away. In the blink of an eye, 1,000 years had passed since the war began. The other clans had recovered some of their strength. But the Dragon Clan was the exception. Dragons were notoriously slow to reproduce, and 1,000 years just wasn't enough for them to bounce back. One day, a massive inferno suddenly erupted above the East Sea. The flames were burning right through the ocean water itself. Countless firebirds came streaming in from all directions, and beneath them, endless Keelan were walking across the sea. Once bitter enemies, the Phoenix and Keelan, were now allied. Moments later, the East Sea had been scorched into a massive abyss. The dragon palace was completely exposed. Then the Keelan ancestor bellowed from the sky, "Old dragon, get out here right now." The sheer scale of it all sent shockwaves through every dragon in the East Sea. They all knew the ancestral dragon was in seclusion, and panic spread through them instantly. "We're finished. The Phoenix and Keelan just kicked down our door. What do we do?" They came in way too hot. They literally boiled the entire East Sea dry. "Are they trying to wipe us out completely?" Some of the more cowardly ones just collapsed on the spot. "We've been away from the battlefield for 1,000 years, and the Phoenix clan still won't let us go?" I sat at the head of the hall, saying nothing. Then after a moment I spoke. "Father is still in seclusion, but I'm here, there's nothing to worry about." The second I finished speaking, an old elder suddenly snapped, "Seclusion my You clearly don't care about whether this clan lives or dies." Several others immediately chimed in. "Exactly. Why should some little kid be running things around here?" These guys were all my uncles, so I let it slide at first, but that just made them even bolder. Back when the ancestral dragon led us 1,000 years ago, would the Phoenix or Keelan have ever dared show up at our door? Even if he's in seclusion, I believe the ancestral dragon still has tricks up his sleeve. I think Aoshuan is just scared of getting in trouble with the ancestral dragon. That's why he hasn't reported the Phoenix and Keelan showing up at our doorstep. Aoquan stood tall in the center of the hall, his dragon presence bearing down on everyone around him. But there were still those with some sense. An elder barked, "Elder Aoquan, what are you doing? We've got enemies at the gate. This is not the time to fight each other." At that, Aoquan burst out laughing. Every move he made just screamed power. "Have you guys never heard of cleaning house before going to war? The dragon clan's in this mess because that punk Aoxman can't lead for squat. What does some little kid even know? What gives him the right to sit on that throne? Just because he's the ancestral dragon's firstborn son? I was gonna let this old guy keep some dignity, but nah, forget it. So I just unleashed my bloodline power. A terrifying dragon's aura instantly swept through the entire hall. I'm the ancestral dragon's true-born son, and with the system boosting my bloodline on top of that, my bloodline now sits on a completely different level above every dragon out there. The ancestral dragon's gone. That makes me the dragon emperor." Then I turned to Aokian, stone-faced, and said, "I was gonna let you keep a little face. Guess you really think you're something, huh?" Aokian was speechless. My dragon aura was so overwhelming he couldn't get a single word out. Right then, Shakilin up in the sky above the East Sea let out a big laugh. "Why won't the old dragon lady come out? You scared or something?" His voice blasted into the hall. Even the pillars were shaking from the sheer force of it. Some of the weaker ones straight up started crying. "Your Highness, please, just get the ancestral dragon out of seclusion! If you don't, the dragon clan is done today." I looked around the hall and shook my head. These were supposed to be the dragon clan's strongest, and they were already like this. The rest didn't even need to be mentioned. Suddenly, the roof of the hall was just ripped open. A surge of black flames shot up into the sky. This was the 12-grade world-ending Black Lotus. The 12-grade world-ending Black Lotus was born from the Chaos Qinglian, and somehow Luo Hu had handed it straight to Yuan Feng. They actually came here to wipe out the dragon clan. The moment he spotted me, Shaqilin flashed a wicked grin. "Since the old dragon's not here, I'll just kill you, his precious son. Let's see if he comes out for that." And with that, he made his move. Shaqilin reached back and pulled out a pitch-black spear. This was the #1 cursed treasure of the primordial era, the god-slaying spear. Every dragon in the hall shut their eyes. They'd given up. They were just waiting to die. Me? I just smiled, and casually blocked the god-slaying spear with one hand. Look closer. It was actually a tiny Taiji diagram sitting right at the tip of the god-slaying spear. One of the dragons shouted in disbelief. His Highness made a move. He just blocked Shiqilin's attack with one hand. The dragons, who thought they were dead, now they were on the ground crying. They didn't care how I'd done it. All they knew was that His Highness had saved them. Shaqilin clenched his jaw, cold sweat already dripping down his forehead. "It's a formation array?" The dragon clan really did have a backup plan. The next second, with the hall beneath me as the center, a mysterious pattern lit up. Then a formation spanning 1,000,000 miles covered the entire EC dragon territory. Then I called out loud, "Both clans are welcome to my formation." As I spoke, my eyes shifted, one black, one white. But deep inside, they still held a golden light. The power of the Chaos Pearl was being drawn out non-stop. The ancestral dragon himself was lending his strength from inside. But the hand I had behind my back, it was trembling without me even realizing it. Yeah, the flexing felt great, but the god-slaying spear was on a whole different level from what I could handle. I took a breath to steady myself, then shouted, "Dragon Clan, listen up! Channel your power into the formation beneath you. Help me hold this." Once I'd pulled in enough power, a massive Taiji diagram appeared right under my feet. From Wuji comes Taiji. From Taiji come the two poles. The next second, the Taiji diagram began spinning at insane speed. The flames that had been covering the EC suddenly turned into a massive flood. And this wasn't just any water. It was yin energy, specifically designed to counter the Phoenix Clan. The Phoenix Clan are the divine birds of the sun. Fire is literally in their nature. So the moment Yuan Feng saw that floodwater, he panicked. "Phoenix Clan, fall back now!" And Shaqilin, sensing something was off, had already pulled his people back out of the East Sea. This whole time I'd been holding back. I was waiting for exactly this moment. Now, none of them are getting out of here. The next second I triggered the formation. Yin and Yang flipped. Endless waves of water surged toward both clans. Killins and Phoenixes were slammed down by the water left and right. Their bodies moved on their own, falling straight into the formation below. In the blink of an eye, they became fuel for the array. The two patriarchs wanted to save them, but could only pull out a fraction. Over half of both clans were gone in no time. I stood there cold-faced, one hand held out in the void. The formation's energy kept cycling through my hand without stopping. Blood debts get paid in blood. But a formation, no matter how strong, can only catch people off guard once. Pretty soon both clans pushed up into the sky. Wenfeng stared at what was left of his people, eyes completely red. The Dragon Clan struggles to reproduce. But let's be honest, the Phoenix Clan isn't exactly popping out kids either. Then Shakilin spoke up. Yuanfeng, let's break through that formation together. This kid's just a coward hiding behind his walls. And with that, Shakilin raised the God-slaying spear and drove it straight at the formation. The water that had just fallen was already stained red. But right as the tip was about to pierce the formation, a thin membrane suddenly appeared on the formation's surface. It was the power of law, born from the interplay of yin and yang. The law's power wrapped tight around the God-slaying sphere, and it kept chipping away at the spear's strength non-stop. Shakilin pushed harder. That only made the killing energy on the God-slaying sphere surge even more violently. Under Shakilin's relentless assault, he actually managed to briefly break through the law's grip. A crack opened up in the formation. Without hesitating, I whipped out the power of the two poles and thrust it right at the breach. The entire EC shook violently. The next second, a towering waterspout rose up from the calm sea surface. Clouds connected to the EC below. Then massive thunderclouds started gathering in the sky. The two poles encompass endless transformations, and lightning is one of them. Yuanfeng saw this and shouted, "You break the formation! I'll handle the lightning!" And just like that, Yuanfeng shot straight up toward the lightning in the sky. With the 12th-grade world-ending Black Lotus shielding him, he actually managed to hold the lightning back. Shakilin wasn't sitting around either. He rallied his people and charged straight for the crack in the formation. The black killing energy kept eating away at the golden law, and before long it had corroded a huge hole through it. But that was as far as it got. The innate two-poles formation is built for defense. Even the God-slaying spear couldn't push through by even an inch. So the three clans standoff hit a deadlock. Nobody could touch anybody. The Keelan and Phoenix clan members, seeing the situation, started setting up their own formation arrays in mid-air. Then a non-stop barrage of attacks began raining down on the innate two-poles formation. The three clans stayed locked like this for a full 100 years. The Keelan and Phoenix clans never let up the whole time. But the innate two-poles formation was just too strong. They couldn't crack it no matter what. And over those 100 years, the spiritual energy around the EC was nearly bone dry. Yuanfeng and Shakilin were barely hanging on. Me? I was the same as I'd been 100 years ago. I was just running the formation, and when I got tired, I rested. But Shakilin knew. This dragged out long enough, the Dragon Clan would still lose. Because the longer this went on, the more the spiritual energy around the Dragon Clan's territory would dry up. Eventually, it had become a dead zone. And even if the Dragon Clan held their ground, there'd be nothing left worth holding. I had to admit, not bad for a clan patriarch. But honestly, the situation wasn't as bad as Shakilin thought. Because the spiritual energy inside the formation was still plenty rich. The array was cycling with yin and yang after all. But yeah, just sitting here forever wasn't a real solution either. And just then, I suddenly remembered the big weapon the system had rewarded me with earlier. If I want peace, looks like there's only one way to do it. End this fast and make a statement at the same time. With that thought, I opened my mouth and called out, "Hey old Killin, dead Phoenix. Since you two want to act tough, let me gift you a nuke." Shakilin and Yuanfeng both froze. A nuke? What the heck is that? Both of them instantly went on high alert. Yuanfeng even raised the 12th-grade world-ending Black Lotus above both their heads, while the rest of both clans were still circling in the air. The next second, a massive bank of storm clouds suddenly gathered above the EC. At first, Yuanfeng didn't think much of it. He'd seen this kind of thing 1,000 times. Me? I was just quietly laughing inside, because the world-ending divine thunder had already been drawn out. The next second, a terrifying bolt of dark purple lightning suddenly appeared. The sheer force of it literally tore the space apart. This hit was stronger than every single lightning strike the formation had thrown out before, combined. And the target? Every last member of the Phoenix and Killin clans. Both patriarchs snapped to it instantly. My target was never them, it was their people. The roar of thunder swallowed up every single Phoenix and Keelan in an instant. The whole sky turned dark purple, like something straight out of hell. The young Phoenixes and Kylans, their bodies couldn't take it. The lightning just shredded right through them. The destruction-filled lightning raged out in every direction. Shattered blood rained down from the sky. The mangled remains of young Phoenixes and Killans poured down with the blood. The entire Dragon Palace was stained red. Once the world-ending divine thunder finally faded, I immediately got to work patching up the damaged formation. That nuclear blast took out half of both clans in one shot. I couldn't help but feel a little bummed. Why didn't the system give me a few more nukes? Meanwhile, every dragon inside the formation just stood there with their jaws on the floor. Am I seeing this right? The Phoenix clan and the Keelan clan are just gone? Shakilin was burning holes through me with his stare. He knew this had my name all over it. After today, the name Ioxuan was going straight to the top of his kill list, above even the ancestral dragon. But at this point, both clans had lost their will to fight. The survivors were just standing there blank-eyed. The two patriarchs didn't hesitate. They grabbed their people and got out of the EC at full speed. The moment they were gone, I pushed the formation's power and flipped things around again, turning spiritual energy and law into seawater to repair the East Sea. After all that, I was about to head back to the shop, but then I saw every dragon in the Dragon Palace just standing there, completely zoned out. Something clicked. I raised my arm and shouted, "We won! The Dragon Clan won!" A beat of silence, then the place absolutely erupted. The whole Dragon Clan went wild. "His Highness is unmatched! All hail His Highness!" The cheers went on for a long time before I made my way back to the front of the hall. The elders who'd been questioning me earlier were all dead silent now. Only Aokian spoke up, full of attitude. Just some little punk, riding the formation array his dad left behind acting like he's hot stuff. The words hit and the whole hall went dead silent. Everyone was staring at Aokian like he'd lost his mind. The elders who shared his view said nothing, but their eyes said everything. I just looked at him with pure contempt and said, "Aokian, I gave you a chance. You didn't step up to protect the clan. Now I handled the threat. What exactly is your problem?" Aokian scoffed and shot back, "You're just hiding behind the formation your father left you. If it weren't for that firstborn status, the one leading this clan would be me, Aokian. Then another elder stepped forward, all smiles. Oxuan, your father left you such a powerful formation. How come you didn't tell us about it from the start? Before his words even settled, another elder jumped in. The ancestral dragon left that formation to protect the clan, and you kept it to yourself? What exactly are you playing at? These two were both my uncles, one playing the good cop, one playing the bad cop. All they wanted was control of the innate two-poles formation. Then from the corner, a young dragon roared, Elders, what is your problem? His Highness is the one who protected this clan. Standing in the corner showed just how low his rank was, but he still dared to go up against the elders. The next second, a muffled grunt rang out, and the young dragon coughed up a mouthful of blood. Then another elder stepped out. You've got nerve. If Aoxuan hadn't hoarded that formation for himself, it could have wiped out the Phoenix and Killing clans completely. Before the war even started, who really won? Them or them? Man, I'm so done with this. Right then, I heard the system go off in my head. Host detected in a bad mood. Here are 4 options. Option 1, kill them. Assert dominance. Reward, dragon prestige plus bloodline boost. Option 2, ignore them completely. Reward cultivation boost plus bloodline boost. Option 3, lock them up. Reward, access to the celestial prison. Option 4, lock them up, then bring in some fine women and make them perform in public. Help solve the dragon population problem. Reward, celestial prison access plus bloodline boost. After reading that, I just smiled, hide in the creepiest way. Didn't expect the system to be this thoughtful. It just knocked out like a dozen of my problems in one shot. The elders saw that smile and immediately got nervous. Why is this guy smiling like a psycho? Why did my kidney suddenly feel uneasy? I kept a straight face and said, Aoquan, I'll let it slide that you did nothing for the Dragon Clan before, but today I literally saved the clan, and you're still pulling this disrespectful nonsense? As I spoke, I unleashed my bloodline power. If you want to die that bad, I don't mind making it happen. The bloodline pressure slammed down on Aoquan and the others, dropping them all to their knees. Then I narrowed my eyes and said, Someone take these elders away, throw them in the dungeon. The moment I said it, everyone in the room lowered their heads in agreement. Not a single person pushed back. Honestly, they'd been fed up with those old men for a while. Aoquan tried to get one last word in, but someone just straight up slapped him unconscious. Once they were dragged out, everyone spoke up at once. Your Highness, what are your orders? The ancestral dragon is gone. You're the only one we follow. I thought to myself, I gotta give credit to those 2 clans. Without them stirring things up, I never would have won over every last dragon. Thinking about that, I channeled the power of the formation and broadcast it across the entire primordial world. I, Aoshuan, current chief of the Dragon Clan, hereby announce, the Dragon Clan is out of this 3-way war. Any attack on the Dragon Clan by the Phoenix or Killing Clan will be judged by the Heavenly Tao itself. World-ending divine lightning will come down. Let those 2 clans be a warning to anyone else who tries. That booming announcement hit every faction like a truck. Up on Yukon Mountain, Hong Yun had been watching the EC closely. He figured the Phoenix and Killing clans teaming up would just wipe out the dragons entirely. But somehow, even after Luo Ho lent out the demon-slaying spear and the 12th grade world-ending Black Lotus, both clans nearly got wiped out instead. And the craziest part? That lightning strike. Even Hong Yun couldn't figure out where it came from. Could that actually have been judgment from the Heavenly Tao? On the other side, the demon ancestor Luo Ho couldn't believe his plan had failed again. How? How does the Dragon Clan have that kind of power? Why didn't I know they were hiding a formation like that? The more Luo Ho thought about it, the more furious he got. The Phoenix and Killing clans were now his top priority. At the same time, he pushed even harder to refine the 4 immortal slaying swords. The Phoenix and Killing clans were in similar shape. Both ancestors led what was left of their people back home. They announced a full clan lockdown. They hadn't formally quit the war like the dragons did, but after getting wrecked like that, they didn't really have a choice. And right when the whole primordial world was simmering with tension, I made a decision that shocked everyone. I issued an order to the entire Dragon Clan. We were going out across the whole world to find beautiful women. And not just a quick search, a full 1,000 years of it. Oh, and stock up on herbs and supplements too. After all, those are my dearest, most beloved uncles. Once clan business was wrapped up, I went back to my chamber and got back to cultivation. Time means nothing when you're in deep training. By the time I snapped out of it, thousands of years had already passed. A young dragon had been waiting outside by the throne for a while. He's the one who finally woke me up. When he saw me, he bowed respectfully, and that's when I realized I was still short on personal guards. Looks like I need to handpick some loyal dragons and build my own crew. I can't be babysitting the clan 24/7. I need to train. Someone's gotta hold things down while I'm in closed-door cultivation. But that's a slow build. No rush. This young guy in front of me, though? Not bad. Made it into the main hall, so he's got some real potential. With that in mind, I asked him, "What's your name?" He answered respectfully, "Your Highness, my name is Longju." I gave him a good look over. His bloodline power was seriously strong. His cultivation was even a step above mine right now, and most importantly, this guy was completely loyal. Maybe I'll build a 9-dragon guard around him someday. Just then, Longju spoke up. "Your Highness, the beauties you requested have been found." My eyes lit up immediately. "All right, uncles, here they come." Soon enough, I laid eyes on those stunning women. Even I was blown away. There were just so many of them, and every single one was absolutely gorgeous. I brought them all down to the celestial prison. None of them resisted. Looked like someone had already filled them in. The second I walked in, I heard Aoquan going off. "You little punk. Do you have any respect for your elders at all? How dare you throw us in here? Let us out, now!" I just scratched my ear and pretended not to hear him, because today I actually had good news for them. When Aochuan spotted the beauties behind me, he couldn't help but swallow hard. "Aochuan, what exactly are you planning?" I just smiled. "Uncle, after all these years of war, the Dragon Clan has taken some serious losses. We desperately need a massive wave of new blood. Weren't you gunning for my spot? Well, I'm handing you an opportunity right here. Help the clan produce like 100,000 kids. Now that would be a legendary contribution." Long Ju, standing in the back, was visibly twitching at the corner of his mouth. 100,000 kids, they're gonna work out Quan to death. After leaving the celestial prison, I started thinking, should I send some beauties to my old man too? He is the ancestral dragon after all. Any kids he has would be something else. But then I thought about it and dropped the idea. Dragon reproduction is already tough, and the old man isn't exactly young anymore. Once the beauties were distributed, I was ready to head back into closed-door cultivation. But before I went in, I gave Long Ju one more task to handle. In the blink of an eye, another few thousand years passed. This time I woke up on my own, because I was on the verge of a breakthrough. I was about to officially step into the late stage of the golden immortal realm. Just then, Long Ju walked into the chamber. Your Highness, the task you gave me before, it's done. A flash of golden light passed through my eyes. My 9 Dragon Guard was fully assembled. Long Ju then told me, the other 8 members of the 9 Dragon Guard were each the leaders of elite units from back when the ancestral dragon was still around. Because of the grace I showed in saving the Dragon Clan, these battle-hungry dragons were completely devoted to me. All 8 of them, the most loyal warriors I had. And that clever guy Long Ju had also thrown any dragons he didn't fully trust into the celestial prison. Each one sitting in there for at least 2 months. After that, Long Ju told me a secret realm had recently appeared somewhere in the primordial world. Golden immortal level powerhouses were going absolutely crazy over it. He wasn't even finished talking before I shut it down. Are you serious? Secret realms are literally the #1 spot for triggering the main character. No way I'm going. Long Ju twitched at the corner of his mouth, then told me, a small clan was looking to form an alliance with the Dragon Clan. Did I want to head out for that? I turned that down too. You guys handle it. I don't need to go anywhere. Anything happening inside the Dragon Clan, I'm on it. But leaving the clan? Not happening. The primordial world out there is a mess right now. I worked so hard to barely pull the Dragon Clan out of that disaster, and now you want to throw me right back into the middle of it? Absolutely not. So I just straight up told him, anything involving leaving the clan, don't even bring it up. I'm not taking any of those. But Long Ju kept pushing the idea of going out, and it actually got me thinking about something else. The Dragon Clan is recovering right now, but doesn't that mean the other 2 clans are recovering too? I don't want to leave. But I also don't want to just sit back and let my enemies thrive. Gotta think of something. Right then, the system chimed in. Host detected facing a choice. Here are 4 options. Option 1. Do nothing. Ignore them. Reward. Bloodline boost. Option 2. Ambush them while they're still recovering. Reward. Cultivation boost. Option 3. Stir up tension between the 2 clans. Make them suspect each other. Reward. Ancient spirit treasure. Option 4. Send gifts to both clans. Try to patch things up. Reward. Temporary goodwill from both clans. Didn't expect the system to trigger right now, but I picked option 3 without hesitating. The system's option gave me the exact idea I needed. Then I said, Long Ju, go pick out some treasures from the vault. In 3 days, head to the Phoenix Clan and deliver them as gifts. Tell them the Dragon Clan wants to bury the hatchet. At the undying volcano in the far south of the primordial world, Yuan Feng sat on his phoenix throne in silence. The memory of that battle against the Dragon Clan centuries ago kept replaying in his mind. What even was that final lightning strike? Could that punk have actually been telling the truth? Was that really judgment from the heavenly Tao? The thought of it made Yuan Feng's eyes burn with rage. That lightning wiped out so many of our people. Without it, the throne of the primordial world would have been ours. One of the guards said, fuming. I heard the Dragon Clan sending an envoy today. One look and you can tell they're up to something. The words barely landed before Long Ju walked into the hall carrying gifts. Long Ju of the Dragon Clan, greetings to Yuan Feng. Yuan Feng's face went stone cold. Did that little punk send you here to show off? Every time he saw someone from the Dragon Clan, he could barely stop himself from just slapping them dead on the spot. Other Phoenix Clan members in the hall chimed in. Ancestor, it's obvious the Dragon Clan didn't send him here with good intentions. Just kill him and be done with it. Yuan Feng thought it over and shot that down. You don't kill a messenger in wartime. Let's hear what this guy actually came to say. Long Ju, completely surrounded by murderous energy, didn't flinch. He actually smiled. Because before coming here, he'd brought the Dragon Clan's protective treasure with him. Then, with a serious expression, he said, I'm here on behalf of my liege. We've brought a few modest gifts, hoping to put an end to the bad blood between our 2 clans. The moment those words landed, the entire hall went dead silent. Yuan Feng almost thought he'd misheard. Aoshuan was actually sending him gifts? After a beat of silence, the hall exploded. Every Phoenix Clan member's eyes turned red, absolutely refusing to accept any goodwill from the Dragon Clan. One member who suggested taking the gifts barely got a word out before being locked down by a wave of killing intent. They took it back real quick. Long Ju took in the whole scene, his expression completely unreadable. Yuan Feng didn't want to accept the gifts. He was about to refuse. But then that terrifying lightning from the Dragon Clan flashed back into his mind. If he turned this down, would the ancestral dragon just march the Dragon Clan's elites straight in here? Wipe the Phoenix Clan off the map entirely? He hesitated. Right then, a trusted aide sent him a private message. Ancestor, maybe just take them. Accepting some gifts doesn't actually commit us to anything, does it? Yuan Feng's eyes lit up. Exactly. He could take the gifts, use them to rebuild the Phoenix Clan's strength, and once they were back to full power, just go hit the Dragon Clan again. Once he figured it out, Yuan Feng smiled and said, I'll take them. Now head back. Long Ju's smile got even bigger. He handed over the treasures without hesitation. After leaving the Phoenix Clan, Long Ju flew back to the EC Abyss without stopping for a second. He found me and laid out everything that happened, start to finish. I couldn't help but laugh when he was done. Good that they took it. Now comes the fun part. Stirring up trouble between the 2 clans. In that last battle, the Keelan took real damage, but Yuan Feng walked away untouched thanks to the 12th grade world-ending Black Lotus. There's no way the Keelan have zero resentment over that. And now that the Phoenix Clan accepted my gifts on top of everything, no way the Keelan clan is just gonna swallow that. So I said, Long Ju, there's one more thing I need you to handle. Here's what you do. Long Ju's eyes lit up with a golden glow as he listened. He looked at me like I was something else entirely. Your Highness, this plan is absolutely brilliant. I'm on it. Longju left the Dragon Palace, and I just stood there smiling without saying a word. What I sent him to do was simple. Spread rumors. I wanted news of the Phoenix Clan accepting the Dragon Clan's gifts to spread across the entire primordial world. And I threw in a little extra spice, because rumors always get wilder the further they travel. By the next day, the story was already everywhere. Longju and the rest of the 9 Dragon Guard pulled every connection they had, and in just one day, the news had spread across the whole world. A few wood spirits huddled together gossiping. Bro, you hear the latest on the 3-clan war? Turns out what looked like the Dragon Clan fighting alone against 2 clans was actually the Dragon and Phoenix clans teaming up to screw over the Keelan the whole time. Think about it, after that whole battle, the Phoenix clan came out just fine. The Keelan were the only ones who got wrecked. The ancestral dragon who hadn't shown up yet? Turns out he'd gone to shield the Phoenix ancestor under the divine thunder. Word got back to the ancestral Keelan fast. The second he heard it, his face went completely dark. And the other Keelans? Each one angrier than the last. Ancestor, I heard too. The Phoenix clan already accepted gifts from the Dragon clan. Wenfeng, you shameless old bird. 2 flames burned in the ancestral Keelan's eyes. He was absolutely furious. The entire Keelan clan hall trembled under his pressure. His Dalua aura burst out completely uncontrolled. By day 3 of the rumor spreading, the Keelan clan was already mobilizing, quietly rebuilding their army. All of it happening in the shadows. By day 5, even the Phoenix clan, and slow as they were, finally sensed something was off. But it was already too late. The ancestral Keelan had already led his army straight to the undying volcano. Just like that, the war between the 2 clans reignited. Wenfeng was completely blindsided. Has the ancestral Keelan lost his mind? Both our clans are already beat up. Keep fighting and someone else is just gonna swoop in and take everything. Even as he spoke, the Phoenix clan behind him was already scrambling into formation. That only made the ancestral Keelan more furious.
现状更加的愤怒。
I've lost my mind, old bird! You've got the nerve to say that? You teamed up with the Dragon clan to set me up. I'm here today to get justice. Plain and simple. Yanfeng could see it clear as day. The ancestral Keelan had fallen for the rumors. Those are lies. The Phoenix clan never did any of that. But deep down he knew. This was going to be a problem. Because the gifts from the Dragon clan were still sitting right there in Phoenix clan territory. The ancestral Keelan crossed his arms and said, "If it's all just rumors, then let me come in and search your grounds. You down? And if I find something from the Dragon clan, what's your excuse gonna be?" Yuanfeng frowned. That's impossible. We've killed so many Dragon clan members together. We'd already seized a ton of Dragon clan treasures. How could you even tell them apart? Shikelin loses it on the spot. You've clearly got something to hide. If you're really not in bed with the dragons, why won't you let me search? Wenfeng is on the verge of a breakdown.
Just let me explain.
In the battle 100 years ago, our Phoenix clan took heavy losses too. If I was colluding with the dragons, would I have sacrificed that many of my own people? But clearly Shixilin, the hothead that he is, wasn't hearing any of it. He straight up pulled out the divine devouring spear and pointed it right at Yuanfeng. Seeing that, Yuanfeng was done playing nice. She whipped out the grade 12 world-ending Black Lotus. The 3 of them went at it for 3 days and 3 nights. And nobody could get the upper hand. Word spread across all 3 realms. The Keelan clan and the Phoenix clan are actually fighting each other? That only made the rumors look even more legit. When I got word, I immediately sent Longju with 3,000 elite soldiers straight to the undying volcano to back up the Phoenix clan. 9 days after the rumors broke, the dragon reinforcements arrived. Longju spotted the massive Keelan and Phoenix manifestations from a distance, and immediately shouted out, "Elder Yuanfeng, our clan's backup is here. Stand down now and help us surround the Keelan clan. Don't let any of them leave. Once the Keelan clan is wiped out, the dragons will step back, and the world will be yours, Phoenix clan." Hearing that, Yuanfeng straight up coughed up blood. He'd gone in trying to play it smart and ended up making everything worse. And those words landing in Shichilin's ears? That was straight gasoline on a fire. Yuanfeng, look at where we are now. What do you have left to say? Shikilin was raging and pushed even harder. As the Keelan elites he'd brought started clashing head-on with the Phoenix clan, Yuanfeng knew there was no way out, so she went full send. The battle between the 2 of them was earth-shattering, but neither could take the other down. In the end, they went at it for a full month, until Shikilin's rage finally started to cool off. Seeing he couldn't take down the Phoenix clan, he pulled the Keelan army back. Wenfeng had just won with his 12th grade world-ending Black Lotus and wanted to take it out on the Dragon clan. But those dragons had already bounced. Not a single one in sight. Wenfeng was absolutely seething. Dragon clan, you better watch your backs. Back at the Dragon clan, Longju had just walked into the main hall. And there I was, sitting right on the throne. I was in the best mood of my life. The moment the Phoenix and Keelan clans started throwing hands, the system already pinged me. Mission complete. I pulled out the innate spirit bell right away and planted it just outside my closed-door cultivation chamber. My cultivation speed instantly shot up tenfold. At this rate, I'm looking at breaking through to the late golden immortal realm in just 10 years. Keep this up and stomping Hong Yun and smacking down Rahu won't just be a dream. After Longzhou brought the news back, everyone was completely in awe of me. The Keelan and Phoenix clans were already wrecked. And now after this fight on top of it? They're not recovering for at least 1,000 years. Once the ancestral dragon comes out of closed-door cultivation, the Dragon clan will rule all of primordial world. I just smiled when I heard that. Way too early to call ourselves rulers. This is only phase 1 of the plan. Once the 3 clans fade out of the picture, it'll be Hong Yun versus Rahu. After that war, saints will emerge, and Dalua won't be the top tier in primordial world anymore. Just thinking about Hong Yun at the treasure rock giving out treasures gave me a headache. What if Hong Yun sets his sights on the Dragon clan? Right at that moment, the system chimed in again. Crisis detected. 4 options presented to the host. Option 1. Bring the 3 pure ones under your command. Reward. The heavenly Tao marks you as an enemy. Option 2. Bring Nuwa under your command. Reward. Title. Fearless Valor. Bloodline upgrade, and you gain an innate Tao body. Option 3. Recruit Kunpeng as a member of your crew, and you'll be rewarded with the Kunpeng arts. gaining his shape-shifting abilities and yin-yang techniques. Option 4. Recruit Kong Xuan as a member of your crew. Reward, 1 Fusang tree. Hearing this, I immediately ignored the first 3 options. The 3 pure ones and Nua are all future saints. Going after them would be straight-up suicide. And Kun Peng, while not a saint, is a future quasi-sage powerhouse and the founding teacher of the Demon Clan. So really, Kong Xuan was my only real option. And Kong Xuan just so happens to be Wenfeng's kid. If I recruit him, that'd be too good to pass up. 10,000 miles east of the Phoenix Clan, there's a mountain peak surrounded by ocean on all sides. The spiritual energy here is weak. Nowhere an immortal would ever choose to live. I stood on the peak and frowned. Kong Xuan is Wenfeng's own child. He shouldn't be living like this. This place is miles away from the undying volcano, and regular Phoenix Clan members get to live there, let alone Yuan Feng's kid. Something's clearly going on here. While I was thinking it through, I glanced over at Longju beside me, and I was not happy. See, before we left, I'd given Longju a full set of innate spirit radiance gear, because the bodyguard of the Dragon Clan's ruler can't be walking around looking shabby. But I did not expect this guy to be so uptight about it. He got the spirit treasure and just hid it. Wouldn't even wear it. When Longju caught my expression, he immediately dropped to one knee. My lord, I'm genuinely just not used to it. Not wearing those shoes has nothing to do with disrespecting you, I swear. I waved him off and started heading up the mountain. When I reached the summit, I frowned again. This was absolutely not how Yuan Feng's son should be living. The entire mountaintop was covered in hand-planted bamboo, and while every stalk was a spirit plant, they were all pretty ordinary, barely any spiritual energy to speak of. Tucked inside the bamboo grove was a small bamboo hut, looked pretty bare bones. This had to be Kong Xuan's place. I thought to myself, does he actually have beef with the Phoenix Clan? If that's the case, convincing Kong Xuan might actually be doable. In the primordial world, I remembered, Kong Xuan didn't show up until after the Great War. So right now, honestly, who knows what he's been up to? While I was still thinking, a young man stepped out of the bamboo house. Who are you two? What do you want here? Kong Xuan had been deep in cultivation, until he picked up 2 unfamiliar auras nearby. He'd assumed it was the Phoenix Clan again, but nope, 2 total strangers. Either way, getting interrupted mid-cultivation had him in a terrible mood. If you're lost, get out, now. Longju heard that and snapped immediately. Watch your mouth. You're talking to my lord. Show some respect. And before Kong Xuan could even react, Longju was already ready to throw hands. In an instant, storm clouds rolled in over the mountaintop. Looked like a downpour was coming. Then a wave of heat ripped through and blew every last cloud away. Kong Xuan turned and demanded furiously, "This is Phoenix Clan territory. What does the Dragon Clan want here?" Then his aura exploded out, and it was dead even with Longju's cultivation level. My eyes lit up the second I saw it. Looks like I made the right call coming here. Spiritual energy on this mountain is practically nothing. And he's this strong? Impressive. That settled it. I spoke up. First time meeting, let me introduce myself. I'm the acting clan leader of the Dragon Clan, and your future master. The words barely left my mouth, and Kong Xuan was already looking at me like I'd lost my mind. Kong Xuan wasn't buying it for a second. You? Acting clan leader of the Dragon Clan? You think golden immortal level cultivation is enough to make me submit? Where does that confidence even come from? Longju exploded. How dare you! My lord is the Dragon Clan's recognized acting leader. Him coming to you personally is an honor. Act like it. After I said that, Kong Xuan's expression finally changed. But as the son of the primordial phoenix, he still had some pride in him, so he was about to turn me down on the spot. I raised my hand and cut him off. Hold on, don't say no just yet. Stick with me and you'll never run out of cultivation resources. But Kong Xuan just scoffed at that. You see these 1,000+ spirit trees on my mountain? Why would I need your little stash? In his mind, this immortal mountain of his was already top tier. After all, he hadn't seen much of the world since he started cultivating. I smirked internally. Then, I casually waved my hand, and piles of spirit Lingji mushrooms dropped all over the ground. I looked at Kong Xuan with a grin and said, "How about these 10,000-year spirit herbs? Enough for your cultivation?" Kong Xuan's throat moved on its own. He couldn't believe this dragon actually had this much good stuff. But after a moment, Kong Xuan shook his head without hesitation. "You think a few herbs can win me over? You're seriously underestimating me, Kong Xuan." After saying that, he forced himself not to look at the pile of spirit herbs. "Just go back, there's no way I'm agreeing to this." I shook my head helplessly. "Okay, sure, but can you at least stop gulping while you say that?" But when it came to throwing money around, I had zero hesitation. The dragon ancestor left behind a massive fortune. So I did it again. 10,000-year spirit medicines started pouring out of my sleeve like they were free. In no time, they formed an entire mountain of spirit herbs. A thick wave of spiritual energy hit us like a wall. Kong Xuan was completely dumbfounded. He'd never seen this many spirit herbs in his entire life. He thought to himself, if he had all this, his cultivation speed would at least go up 10x. Then maybe his father would finally look at him differently. But the moment he thought of his father, Kong Xuan's eyes hardened again. There's no way I'm running with the Dragon Clan just for some spirit herbs. The primordial phoenix is my biological father. With that, Kong Xuan turned his back and refused to look at the herbs. But tears started rolling down his cheeks against his will. Seeing that, I sighed and put the spirit herbs away. No wonder you become one of the greatest in the primordial era. That kind of willpower is genuinely impressive. But then Kong Xuan added one more thing. It's not that I can't submit to you, but you gotta pay more. I nearly died laughing right there. Greatest of the primordial era? Bro is literally just a little gold digger. I let out a light chuckle. Besides these spirit herbs, I can also throw in a primordial innate spirit treasure. The moment he heard that, Kong Xuan didn't even hesitate and just yelled out, "Daddy!" Accept my bow. A string of question marks floated above both Longju's and my head at the same time. What just happened? Kong Xuan froze too. He didn't expect that he just blurted out what was in his head out loud, but he quickly brushed past the awkwardness. Because that was a primordial innate spirit treasure on the table. He hadn't even seen a post-heaven spirit treasure yet, let alone a primordial one. What he didn't know was, I actually had even more to offer. The primordial part just kinda slipped out. But a man's word is his bond, since it's already out there. I, Kongshan, accept. I gave him a weird look. Can I just not be your dad? Call me Master from now on. Kongshan said awkwardly, understood, Master. Got it, Master. I didn't mind at all, honestly. Give it enough time and he'd get used to it. Then the system notified me. Mission complete. The Fusang tree had been delivered. I immediately checked my system inventory. Turns out the system gave me a sapling. I'd have to grow it myself. But honestly, no big deal. The Fusang tree is a pretty big deal in the primordial world. It's where the sun rises. Basically the resting spot of the three-legged golden crow. And the three-legged golden crow has a mother. The sun goddess Shiki. Kongshan just stared at me blankly. He didn't expect me to be this hyped about it. For the first time, he felt what it was like to truly be valued. Born of the Phoenix clan, yet it was a dragon who saw his worth. The thought of it hit Kongshan deep in the chest. I snapped back to reality, but quickly another thought crossed my mind. System, what if Kongshan betrays me later? The system told me not to worry. The moment Kongshan chose to submit, the system had already locked in a binding contract with him. That put my mind at ease. I then took Longzhou and Kongshan and headed out. But I didn't head straight back to the Dragon Clan. Instead, I brought Kongshan to the Undying Volcano first. A massive peacock soared across the sky, visible to every single member of the Phoenix Clan below. Kongshan looked down from above and shouted, "Listen up, broke birds of the Phoenix Clan. Your grandpa's leaving. Try not to miss me too much." He flapped his wings and whipped up a massive gust, sending the volcano's flames crashing back inside. The Phoenix Clan members dealt with the flames, their faces dark with fury. That's when they recognized him. It was the primordial Phoenix's purple-feathered son. Then a sharp-eyed Phoenix Clan member shouted, "Look! That guy riding on his back. That's Ao Xuan from the Dragon Clan." That one line lit the whole crowd up. The primordial Phoenix's own son pulling a stunt like this, absolutely disgraceful. Shameless. The Phoenix Clan members were fuming. They wanted nothing more than to knock that peacock right out of the sky, but they didn't dare. The Phoenix Clan couldn't afford to mess with anyone right now. They'd just taken an L against the Dragon Clan, and had beef with the Keelan Clan on top of that. Even if they caught Ao Xuan, what then? The dragon ancestor was still alive. I sat up high on Kongshan's back, thinking, I love seeing that look on your faces. You want to kill me, but you can't do a thing about it. Then I said to the peacock, alright, let's go, my little phoenix. Time to head back to the Dragon Clan. But the news of Kongshan becoming the Dragon Clan's mount spread across the entire primordial world in just 2 days. The Keelan Clan had already suspected the Dragon Clan of stirring up trouble, and now it was confirmed. No more doubt about it. The Dragon and Phoenix clans were working together. Why else would the primordial Phoenix's son willingly become Ao Xuan's mount? On the way back to the Dragon Clan, I suddenly picked up on Rahu's energy signature. I didn't dare linger. I pushed Kongshan to haul it back to the Dragon Clan fast. Once we were back in the Dragon Palace, I carefully planted the Fusang tree in my private courtyard. The Fusang tree is a divine tree. It has a massive pull on birds and flying creatures. Even I felt it a little. On top of that, as a sacred tree, it has the ability to connect to the prosperous season. But I still couldn't figure out what exactly prosperous season even meant. While I was still thinking it over, I noticed the Fusang tree suddenly drooping. I looked up and my forehead instantly filled with black lines. Turns out I wasn't paying attention, and Kongshan had climbed up the tree. If he didn't know his limits with that body of his, he would have snapped the whole thing. I deadpanned, "Get down, now! The Fusang tree is still growing. Don't crush it." Kongshan lowered his head and climbed down. Clearly the tree had way too strong a pull on him. Then Kongshan asked, "Master, can I just live here in the Dragon Palace?" That caught me completely off guard. Kongshan had already submitted to me, sure, but at the end of the day, he was still Phoenix Clan. And now he was willingly asking to move into the Dragon Palace? Just shows how real that Fusang tree pull was. I thought about it for a second and agreed. With the system contract in place, Kongshan was completely loyal. Having him around would only make things safer for me. The moment I said yes, Kongshan lit up like a kid on Christmas. Then I finally asked the question that had been on my mind. "You're the son of the primordial Phoenix, so why were you living outside the Undying Volcano?" Kongshan's body visibly stiffened. After a long pause, he finally said, "The primordial Phoenix." He's just a deadbeat. Turns out his mother wasn't a phoenix. She was just someone the primordial Phoenix messed around with. So Kongshan's bloodline was impure from birth. That made the primordial Phoenix resent him. And since the primordial Phoenix had too many kids already, he just straight up kicked Kongshan out of the clan. I kept a sympathetic face, but inside I was absolutely loving this. Because even if Kongshan's bloodline wasn't the best, his cultivation talent was absolutely top tier. Right then, a devious little idea popped into my head. "Kongshan, you want revenge on the primordial Phoenix?" Kongshan said with full frustration. "Master, obviously I do. If I could actually beat him, I would have stormed the Phoenix clan already." I gestured for him to calm down. Then I laid out my plan. Basically use his identity to stir up trouble for the Phoenix clan. But Kongshan's eyes were already lighting up before I even finished. "Master, you don't even have to say it." That old Phoenix's personal life is a goldmine of drama. Kongshan's eyes got brighter with every word. If I spill all this, his reputation is done. After hearing all of Kongshan's intel, the corners of my mouth curved up. "Since you can't keep it in your pants, old bird, don't blame me for what comes next." 3 more days passed. The primordial Phoenix's dirty laundry had spread all across the primordial world, even to a faraway immortal mountain, where a few transformed spirits were gossiping about it. "Did you hear? The primordial Phoenix is into cross-dressing? I can't even imagine that big burly Phoenix in a dress. What does that even look like?" Up on Yulin Mountain, the Red Army heard the news and nearly went into key deviation. So all those maids he kept around, if he was just using them for their wardrobes? Then, Kongshan flew straight over the Keelan clan's territory. "Keelan clan, I've got secrets to share. I need you all to witness this. I hope you can help me get justice. The Killing Clan members below were caught off guard. You're a traitor who defected to the Dragon Clan. What do you want with us? Kong Xuan shook his tail in the air. I'm no traitor. I left because I couldn't stand the primordial phoenix's evil any longer. I chose the right side. That old phoenix acts all righteous on the surface. But behind closed doors he's actually... And just like that, Kong Xuan got personally escorted into the Killing Clan's hall. Not long after, roaring laughter echoed from inside. The Killing Clan, who had been screwed over by both the Dragon and Phoenix clans, finally felt all that pent-up frustration melt away. Meanwhile, back at the Undying Volcano, Wenfeng had just come out of closed-door cultivation. He walked out to his clan members all looking completely defeated, and got filled in on what happened. Wenfeng's face went green on the spot. He slapped the table in front of him and shattered it to pieces. Then, when he found out it was his own son who had been spreading all of this, Wenfeng nearly passed out. Not only had Kong Xuan spilled the cross-dressing story, he'd also subtly implied that some of Yuanfeng's kids weren't actually his. Wenfeng, already wounded, heard all this and coughed up a mouthful of blood, and then just collapsed. Back in the Dragon Palace, the system gave me 3 new choices. Option 1. Re-enter the Dragon Han Great Tribulation and unify the primordial world. Reward, Heaven's Tao attention, and 1 loving pat on the head from the Red Army. Option 2. Do nothing. Just lead the Dragon Clan through the tribulation unscathed. Reward, Dragon Ancestors' ashes and 1 cultivation boost to the Grand Unity Golden Immortal Realm. Option 3. Spread the wealth, do good deeds, and help the Dragon Ancestor purge his own calamity energy, breaking free from the identity of a tribulation target. Reward, the Divine Technique 6 Paths of Reincarnation Sword Art. Without even thinking, I picked option 3. Option 1 was a hard no. Jumping into the Dragon Hand Tribulation is just a death sentence. Option 2 wasn't gonna work either. The Dragon Ancestor would eventually come back. And the first thing he'd do is take out his disappointment on me. So option 3 was clearly the play. And just like that, the vision of the 6 Paths of Reincarnation Sword Art appeared in my mind.